Hey everybody, Max here, and today I'm going to be looking at the Marvel Legends series Secret Wars Black Suit Symbiote Spider-Man. I have really been looking forward to this one. This is the second figure from this wave, probably the last figure I'll get of this wave. I might get Titania, but I have the yellow and brown suit Wolverine. Already did a review on that guy, but finally got this guy in. Had a little bit of trouble finding one I wanted to keep, and I'll explain what I mean by that here in a second. But let's just go in, let's dive into the accessories first to get that out of the way. He comes with two heads. So I have the Venom head and then Squinty head over here. So Venom head is on there and then Squinty head's over here. We have the standard thwip hands that we've seen a bazillion times. This is the American Sign Language symbol for love, by the way. So every time Spider-Man thwips, he's showing the love. Like all things Hasbro lately, my biggest complaint is with the paint and the symbol, the triangle symbol for where the webs would come out. I could use another pass of paint. So they're showing they didn't quite cover up the pore lines, and so that is that. That is just a personal gripe of mine. And then we have the wall crawling hands, and then I have fists on him. Again, with the paint on the heads are pretty good. So, but they kind of skimp in some places, and we'll talk about that. Comes with this cool throwback shield, lenticular. I had the original from the original 1984 wave. I was a kid, loved that figure. So I was really excited about getting this one. I don't have a black suit Spidey, been needing one, and so I'm glad to have it. And this is very similar, I think, to the original shield that they came with. So it's a little bit of a novelty. It's got the same kind of peg system that we've seen on Captain America before. I will just throw this in I'm not going to display him with it. I'm just going to throw it into a bin and forget about it. It has a peg. Has a peg for the shield, but no peg in the back, so he couldn't wear it even if he wanted to. So anyway, but it comes with that, and then it has a little cardboard 40th anniversary Secret Wars disc, and it shows you how to put it in. So anyway, it's kind of cool, nice little piece of nostalgia. I've already shown you the heads, but as you can tell, this is actually the eyes. This is actually closer to what the eyes looked like originally in the comic. And it's kind of strange to me and mildly annoying that they didn't make a head that looked like that. That fits better. That's like the Venom angry eyes. And then the squinty one, I don't recall either one of these looking. This is more a McFarlane style, and I don't know what these are. It's like a Steve Ditko, but he never drew that. Mike Zeck designed this particular costume, so that's a little disappointing that we don't get these eyes on either of these heads, but is what it is. Package, lots of shelf space. If you were ever find, it's going to take up a lot of shelf space if you were ever find this in a store, which I doubt you ever will. Certainly would be shocked if you did. The back shows the wave. Like I said, I might get Titania and maybe Cap if I ever find it on clearance, which I doubt I will. So I've got the Ultimate Cap, and that's probably my favorite one. The two heads on this Cap just kind of look a little demented to me, and he doesn't have a butterfly joint. So anyway, Wolverine, Spider-Man, these are my favorites. So pretty thick card, but it is what it is. Get that out of the way. Let's talk about the figure. There's a lot to like here, but there's no perfection in the world, so we're going to talk about the imperfections. He has the standard articulation that we have come to see from Marvel Legends, so we'll go over that pretty quickly. This is an older body. This is the Amazing Fantasy 15 body, which I'm kind of fine with. It's a little smaller. I would have preferred this a black suit on the Scarlet Spider body, whichever body that originated with, but I thought he's pretty big and bulky in that one, and I would have preferred that. That figure also has toe articulation and I think better hip joints, so Yeah, I would have preferred that body to this one, but this is not particularly awful. Uh, it's okay. It's okay. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, the eyes are more of a McFarlane Venom style. Um, he looks down that far because it's on a disc hinge. He looks up that far, which is great. And he has pretty good T-pose. This, but despite this being on the Amazing Fantasy body, I had some real problems with the butterfly joints, and so I took the arms out and snipped the pegs. I don't think I'm going to have to do that with this one. This is pretty good. Well, now that I think about it, maybe it's not. But I had such trouble getting those arms out and snipping those pegs that I actually did a little damage to the butterfly joints themselves. So I'm probably just going to deal with it. But on a whole, I don't want to force it, but that's, yep, probably going to have to heat him up if I'm going to get a better T-pose. But that's about as far as you're going to get. Yep, I'm always concerned about ripping the peg off, the arm off at the peg, whatever. But yeah, he goes all the way around. This, like I said, it's usual stuff that we've seen before. Bicep swivel is solid. Plastic feels more solid to me than the Spider-Man Unlimited figure that I just reviewed, so check that out if you haven't already. And a little more consistent plastic. Although under the light, you can tell a subtle variation in color, like right in here. It's more of a dark gray. Don't know if you can tell that on camera, on screen, but I can definitely tell it now under the light. And maybe I just need to clean it. Maybe I just need to wash it or something. Maybe there's just a film or a residue on it. But it has pinless elbows and knees, and oh yeah, pretty stiff joints. He's got good range of motion there. He can scratch his ears or web his face if you want to. Punch himself in the face. Why are you punching yourself? Symbiote doesn't like him. He's taken over Peter Parker's body. He's punching him. So, as I mentioned before, the paint on the back of the hands could be a little better. And, you know, it has the wrists swivel and all the usual stuff that we're used to. Let me get him back into, let's get his arms up so I can talk about the spider symbol. So for me, getting the spider symbol right, getting the paint right, was key for this figure, because this is a solid black figure. It is not hard to make a solid black figure. So what was the core of this figure was getting all of these lines right. And I actually, this is a figure, I got this figure, I bought two, one to keep on card. This one and the other one are from BBTS, Big Bad Toy Store. I bought two from Amazon, and the lines were just terrible, awful. I sent them back because I wanted to find, that was what was going to make or break this figure for me, was getting the spider legs right on the symbol. And these are okay in the front and even on the back. There's not a lot of bleed through. I mean, they even painted over the back of the butterfly joint, and even that's pretty good. However, there's a little underneath here, you can probably tell it's a little janky, a little scratched right there, and a tiny bit over here, but it's under the arm. It's not that noticeable. The back is pretty good as well. There could probably been, like I said, I think another pass would have been better. And I want to say, and be careful, because the paint on the front, I feel like if I heat this thing up and then ran my finger over it, it would smear completely. It feels like, it feels a little uneven. And when I've posed him around, when I move him, it's like my finger is a little sticky. It's obviously dried, but it just feels like probably I'm gonna, what I may do is, you know, get a bunch of masking tape and just tape off everything but the symbol, and then just do a top coat, just a clear matte top coat that just kind of seal this thing up so that it doesn't rub off. And you can tell a difference between, yeah, these are two different plastics because you can usually tell, I think the paint gives it away. It's a deeper white, and some of, like, they could have done another pass here on the lower abdomen. It's white, but it's kind of a subtle gray. I mean, you can tell that there's a differentiation in color. So make of that what you will. I think it has to do with the difference of plastic. And I've seen some reviews, people have written about it, and there's some paint splatter here and there that you might be able to get off with a little acetone, but be careful. I have used some stuff to get paint off of a torso, and it's a lot easier. It's gonna melt the plastic on the torso. The plastic is different, so if you do that, just be aware, get it off there as fast as you can because it will mar the plastic. And since this is a muscular body and it's meant to, be a skin tight suit, it's not like you can hide it. It's not like a GI Joe Classified or some other figure that has a molded, what's supposed to look like a uniform clothes, that sort of thing. This is essentially just a naked body when you get right down to it. So anyway, there's that. Pretty good range of motion, side to side, tilt, everything. It's got the, he bends forward that far, which honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure if a waist swivel wouldn't just be better. I mean, the inverted ab crunch, some people like it. He goes back that far. But the torso, other than getting pretty good range of motion in the upper torso, I don't know. It just seems like you have to spend too much time breaking these things down and milling out material to get a better range of motion. So it just seems like ab crunches might be better, but to each his own. That's kind of my opinion. But he doesn't get full T splits or Y splits, whatever you want to call it. And a little stiff in, well, that one here, I have a liar. He kicks up past 90 degrees, which is pretty good on this body. The right leg on mine is a little stiff at the hip, and I've noticed that the inside the hip joint right there, there's probably raised plastic. When you move it around, it rubs against something and it's kind of rubbing off or scoring the plastic at the top of the hip, and that's also annoying. But the thigh swivels are solid, not wobbly or anything like that. Not like my Spider-Man Unlimited figure. I wish that figure had been more like this one in terms of the legs and at the elbow. I'm sorry, the bicep swivel. Pretty good joints on the knees. And the only real structural issue that I have is with the boot swivel. It seems a little loose to me here and a little gappy right there on both sides. It just feels like, I might have to take them apart and then maybe trim down the peg a little bit so that it'll fit more flush. And his feet are pretty big. He's got some pontoon feet, but he's got good range of motion nonetheless. And then goes around like that. But it feels a little spongy down here. So the plastic, everything feels fairly solid and consistent, but it's a little spongy down here. So other than that, let me know what you think in the comment section. On a whole, I like this figure. I think it came out fairly well, other than just the paint, and I would have preferred a more accurate head portrait. That would have been much better. And I'm going to give this guy a warp factor of 7.5. It's not great. The Marvel Legends team just unveiled the Gamerverse Black Suit Spider-Man, the symbiote. I'm definitely going to pick that guy up and compare and contrast. I mean, I much prefer a smoother version, more traditional looking like the comic book, but I am intrigued. I've never played the game, but I got to say that particular rendition kind of it piqued my interest. And so when it goes live, I'm definitely going to order a couple. So, and then we'll do a review on that one and contrast and compare. So anyway, that is Symbiote Spider-Man, my favorite costume for Spider-Man. I wish he was in this costume all the time. But other than a little loose in a couple places, he's a solid figure. So Warp 7.5. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Let me know in the comments if I'm forgetting something. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.